Welcome to your ladder series. A ladder series is essentially building poses until you get to a peak sequence. What I love about ladder series is that they offer an opportunity for repetition, which is an opportunity for refinement of some of the more basic alignment cues in our postures. So go ahead, make sure that you're comfortable, you've got a nice space to practice, and we'll get started. Welcome to your ladder flow for the hips. Let's get started in child's pose. Let your big toes touch. Take your knees wide. Release your torso. And I want elbows wide to begin, hands closer to touch. In this position, Balasana, connect to your breath. Create a slight toning of the breath so that you're actually inhaling through the nose and exhaling through either the nose or mouth, but creating a ha sound to turn on that Ujjayi pranayama. This will act as a nervous system stabilizer and almost like a playlist for your practice today. We have a 30-minute sequence diving into the hips with this ladder flow. So it means there's a lot of repetition and opportunities for refinement. Let's take one more Ujjayi breath here. With your next inhale, straighten your arms and shift forward to tabletop, placing the knees beneath the hips, letting your shins run parallel. Inhale, arch your spine and slowly extend the right leg back to a straight position. Spiral the inner thigh up and the outer hip down so the pelvis is squared off. Take another breath in with this arched position. And exhale, bend the knee round the spine. Push the mat away. This time, inhale, arched position, create a right angle at the back leg. And I want the sole of the foot in dorsiflexion. Again, arch the spine, gaze up. And exhale, round the spine, knee to nose. Third round, come back to this position in the leg, but rather than an arch in the spine, find more neutral in the spine. So you have a bit more engagement at the core to allow your opposite arm to reach forward and then back to catch the foot. Give a slight push to the foot, gaze up, and again, we arch the spine. And exhale, slow release. And take it down. Allow the knees to splay wide, big toes touch. Child's pose, 1 Ujjayi pranayama. Straighten the arms, inhale, pull forward, tabletop rather. Place the knees beneath the hips and parallel those feet. Inhale, arch the spine, extend the left leg, look up. Spiral the inner thigh up and the outer hip down. So you've really squared off the pelvis again. And exhale, round knee to nose. Push the mat away. One more, take it back. We go into that bent knee position. So this time the sole of the foot is up towards the sky. Arch the spine, gaze up. And exhale, round knee to nose. Third time we come into this position, but it's a neutral spine. Pull the belly back towards the spine so the right arm can drift and reach back. Catch the foot, push the foot to the hand. Take a big breath. Exhale, release. Child's pose, knees wide, hips back. 1 Ujjayi breath. Straighten your arms. Inhale, pull forward, tabletop. Exhale, step back, plank. Lift downward facing dog. Step your feet together and float the right leg up. Enjoy a three-legged dog here. Strong point through the upper toes. Exhale, bend the knee, touch knee to nose. Extend it back. Once more, exhale, bend knee in and step forward. Drop your back knee, release the toes, sweep your arms up, low lunge. Release the arms. Interlace the hands, lift the chest. Reach the arms overhead and step back. Step the right leg to plank. Lift the hips high. Float the left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend back. One more time, exhale, round. And step. Drop the back knee, release the toes, sweep your arms, low lunge. And release the arms back. Lift the chest. Take the arms to the mat. Look forward, step forward. Inhale, lengthen either fingers to floor or hands to shins. Exhale, fold, taking a softness at the knees. Root to rise all the way up. Hands to heart. Nice and warm. Let's begin our flow. Inhale, take your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold fully. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Plant your back heel, windmill the arms. Establish warrior two. So the front knee stacks over the heel, the shoulders stack over the hips, and the arms are both parallel to the floor. Sink down deeper in your posture. Create a space across the collarbones by pulling the shoulders back. And keep that as you exalt the warrior. Flip the front palm, place backhand to thigh, and lift upwards, creating this lovely lateral stretch. Maintain the depth in your front leg. Return back, warrior two. Front forearm to thigh, upper arm over the ear. Side angle pose. Again, pull the shoulders back to get those collarbones to smile across the chest. Maybe extend that smile up to the face as well. Return back, warrior two. Into our first vinyasa, step to plank. We'll wait for each other here. First round, lower knees, firm your elbows to midline. Release chest, and then lengthen out the legs, tops of the feet to mat. Your hands are under the shoulders, elbows still hugging in. Ground the hips and lift for cobra. One. Take it down. Big breath. Two. Take it down. Bigger breath. Three. Curling the chest through the shoulders. Take it down. Press back through hands and knees and lift for downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Inhale, rise, tips of the toes. Get really nice and high through those hips and tiptoe yourselves to the tops of the mat, gripping at the fingertips to keep your balance. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And exhale, side two. You stay where you are. I'll step my left foot back so you can see. Everyone, left foot back, plant the heel, windmill the arms, warrior two. Front knee over heel, shoulders over hips. Sink into that leg, maintaining parallel arms, and just a nice big breath, pulling shoulders back. Flip your front palm, place the back hand to thigh, exalted warrior. Reach the front forearm to the thigh, upper arm over the ears, side angle. Strong through the arms, find warrior two. And exhale, release. This time stepping back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. You can either keep your feet here or step them to the edges of your mat. Notice that extra space allows the heels to drop down closer to the earth, bringing more grounded effort through the lower half of the body. Your hips will lift up, your thighs will press back. Inhale, rise, tips to the toes, draw those legs together. And this time either tiptoe or step to the top of the mat. So you're back to where you started. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale into that nice deep fold. Root to rise all the way up. Hands to heart all the way in. So if you don't have your block yet, make sure you have at least one at the top of your mat. And here we go, second round, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Right foot to the back of the mat. Plant your heel, establish warrior two. Exalted warrior, take a big breath, prepare the side body, and exhale. This time pause at warrior two and reach forward, kicking the right hip back. You'll reach your hand for the block, place the block on the inside of the foot, and extend the opposite arm over the ear. So there's 3 levels to the block depending on your mobility at that front hip today. What I want to see is that your elbow is actually pushing your knee out to encourage this front sitting bone to wrap under. There's a seesaw effect at the femur bone. If the knee moves out, the hip moves in. Get that in action, and then focus on the upper shoulder. Pulling the shoulder back to revolve the thoracic spine open here. It's almost a twist. Give a nice push through the back leg and a lift through the inner back knee. Take the upper hand to your hip, gaze down, half moon pose. Take your front hand and your back leg forward about a foot's distance. Pause here. When you're ready, slowly transition your weight to your standing leg. I like to be on the highest level of my block here. Open the hips, open the shoulders, extend the upper arm. All of your limbs are straight and strong, radiating energy from the core outwards to fingers and toes. Take another breath, get long, and then return back to warrior two. So you'll need to bend deeply in the front leg, reach through the back leg, and find your pose. Inhale, exhale, we meet in plank. Either repeat knees, chest, pelvis to cobra, or shift to the tips of your toes. Wrap your elbows in and lower halfway, chaturanga. Flip the feet, push the hands, and lift the hips. Zip the heels together, upward facing dog. Everybody back, downward facing dog. Big breath. Rise tips of the toes, and either tiptoe or step top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, prepare. You stay where you are. Exhale, left foot to the back of the mat. Establish warrior two. Flip the front palm, place back hand to thigh, exalted warrior. Prepare the side body. And then exhale, warrior two, reach forward and kick the hip back. Find the block, place it on the inside of the foot so that the elbow can encourage the knee outwards and the hip in. Once you have that upper arm over the ear, pull the upper shoulder back. Lastly, give a lift to the inner back knee. Side angle pose. Place the upper hand to your hip. Step the front hand and the back foot both forward about a foot's distance and pause. Half moon, go ahead and shift your weight to your front foot as the back leg drifts. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders, extend from the center outwards. Energetic extension will really help this posture. Keep your gaze down if balance is feeling a bit wobbly. Take another breath. And remember that we're headed to warrior two. Begin to lower your center of gravity by bending the front knee. Reach back, take a big breath. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, either feet where they are or take them to mat's distance. Listen to the sound of your breath. This time focusing on the upper body more, you'll spread your fingers wide, a little micro bend at the elbows to open the chest. Keep your ears in line with your arms. Inhale, come back to the tips of the toes, bring the feet together. And exhale, this time we step top of the mat. You stay where you are. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, deepen that fold. Root to rise, take it up. Hands to heart. Everyone still with me? We'll take another one of those, adding on with this ladder flow today. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, deep fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right foot to the back of the mat, warrior two. This time for exalted warrior, take the back hand and sweep it behind you, grabbing onto the front thigh, just for a deeper version of the same pose. And then keep the back hand there as you come into your side angle pose, either reaching for the block or this time fingertips down to the floor. Remember, knee out, hip under, shoulder back, inner thigh, and knee lift. Good, lots of opportunities for a refinement today. You can keep this little half bind if you wish, stepping in for your half moon. Again, you could use the block or play without it this time. The last option on this side is to work with a Chopasana, bending the back knee, kind of like we did at the beginning of the sequence in tabletop. So you'll actually move that right angle position of the legs, so you'll push your thigh back. This could be where you stay, or you might realize the foot is closer than you think. So you can go ahead and grab the foot, push foot to hand, and then everyone meeting back in warrior two when you're ready. Take a big breath. Exhale, release. So we're coming back into plank pose. And from plank pose, we're moving into our first side plank series to add wild thing. So from plank, you'll move to the left foot. Reach the right arm up. Option 1, kickstand. Option 2, feet together. Everyone lift the hips and push the bottom hand down and forward. That actually will help you lift the hips through engaging your serratus anterior. Take another breath, preparing for wild thing. Step the upper leg's toes behind you. Push into the hip as you reach the arm behind, extending your upper body into wild thing pose. Press thumb and index finger together, inhale. And exhale into your vinyasa. Either knees, chest, pelvis, cobra, or chaturanga, up dog. We meet back in down dog, one big breath. Step the legs together. So you could work with the tiptoe, the step, or the hop by gripping the fingertips, looking where you want to land and bending at the knees. Send the hips high, find the top of the mat, and take your deep fold. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, left foot to the back of the mat. Establish warrior two. Take the back hand behind you for this exalted variation. On your exhale, keep the wrap as you find side angle pose, either with the block or with the fingertips to floor. Wrap the knee out as the sitting bone wraps under. Peel the top shoulder back. And then give a nice lift to that back knee and inner thigh. You can keep the wrap as you prepare for half moon pose, shifting the weight into this front leg. Now your second option for half moon is adding Chopasana by creating a bent leg, kind of like we did at the beginning in that tabletop sequence. So you can either stay in this bent position, kind of pulling your thigh back, or you can reach your hand for it. It's probably closer than you think. Push the foot into the hand if you get there, and pull the shoulder back. Know that we're all returning to warrior two, so each in your own time. Try to get there semi-smoothly. And take it down, downward facing dog. Feet wide. 3 breaths. Plank pose, inhale. Side plank, exhale. So this side plank, we're going to the left. You can either step that left foot in front or stack the legs. Whew. So let's get more stable by pushing the bottom hand down and scrubbing it forward to elevate the hips and turn on the obliques. Good. Let's move into wild thing by taking the toes of that upper leg behind you. And then you're going to give a push to create extension at the hip and the chest. Thumb and index finger can even connect if you wish. Take a big breath. And exhale to release. Nice work. Take the feet together. Inhale, prepare. Look where you want to land. Grip the fingertips, walk, step, or hop. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Root to rise up. Hands to heart in. So now you know the flow. We do it once more. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, fold. Connect to your breath. You know where you're going. Let's lengthen. Right foot back, warrior two. You can play with any of the variations you want. Exalted warrior, either with straight arm or bent. Side angle pose. Half moon pose. Warrior two. Plank pose. Side plank. Maybe adding a different variation, and then your wild thing. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Or your final vinyasa. Stay with it. Rise tips of the toes, prepare. Top of the mat. Lengthen. Left foot back, last side, warrior two. Exalted, either straight or bent arm position. Half moon. Warrior two. Plank. Side plank. Wild thing. Downward facing dog. Child's pose, knees wide. Big toes touch. Take it down. Maybe a moment to wipe some of that sweat off your face if you're like me. Whew. It is warm. I feel so good. Elbows wide, release your head. Into our cool down pigeon pose. Take the right leg forward and release, either onto a block or elbows wide, stacking the fists for the head. Peel the right hip back as the left hip melts down. And just allow this more passive stretch after a whole lot of active hip work. This should feel really lovely around the right hip. A very gentle transition to the second side. Sit to the right hip. Swing the legs forward and then bend the left leg, right leg back, side two. Either elbows wide, making a stack fist position for the head, or using one of your blocks. This time, pull the left hip back as you melt the right hip down. Walk your hands into your body, shift to the left leg, and this time both knees come in towards the chest. Come onto your back. Go ahead and cross up the ankles, just pull the knees in. And then soles of the feet together, let the knees go wide apart. Rest your hands to your body or down by your side. And you're welcome to take your small shavasana here or extend your legs long. As you lay back to your yoga mat, just feel completely safe, secure, and supported. Of course, you are welcome to stay here as long as you wish by pressing pause. Or if you are ready, give a slight push to the back of the hips, allowing you to safely bend the knees back to the chest. This time we'll rock side to side, And then place the hands on the tops of the knees and just make some circles, one direction. And then the next. Move to your favorite side and support yourself up. Taking a cross-legged position. Press hands to heart. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Thank you all for practicing. Namaste.